Okay, make it available broadly, will be rolled out iteratively, and red team access is starting today. The text and image capabilities will roll out today in ChatGPT. This is also interesting. They're making 4o available in the free tier and to plus users with 5x higher message limits. We'll roll out a new version of voice mode GPT-4o alpha within ChatGPT. It's a lot of words. Voice mode GPT-4o and alpha with ChatGPT plus in coming weeks. So all the videos we're about to watch looks like that's coming in a few weeks. Devs can now use GPT-4o and API as a text and a vision model. It's 2x faster, half the price, 5x higher rate limits than Turbo. We plan to launch support for audio and video capabilities soon. So looks like API is out. It's available in free tier text and image today. And then voice and stuff is coming in a few weeks. But cool. Let's go through a few more of these. So we've got customer service. We've got 2 of them singing. We saw that. Interview prep, rock, paper, scissors. Let's see some sarcasm. I think this is where we stopped.
Hey, Chad, are you there? Hey, let's have some fun. I'd like you to be super sarcastic. Everything you say from now on is just gonna be dripping in sarcasm. How does that sound?
Ooh, that sounds just amazing. Being sarcastic all the time isn't exhausting or anything. I'm so excited for this. Nope, the sarcasm. Let's get this party started, or whatever.
OpenAI invited myself and my son Imran here to try out some of their new technology. And so we're
Hey, my friend and I are learning Spanish, and we're wondering if you could tell us the names of these objects in Spanish.
Hola, por supuesto.
Cool. What are these objects in Spanish?
The objects you're showing are una manzana and un plátano in Spanish. Nice fruit choice.
Cool. What about these?
Those are dos polígrafos or dos plumas in Spanish. One is red.
Nice. What about this?
That adorable stuffed animal is un oso de peluche in Spanish. Looks like it's ready for some hugs.
Hey ChatGPT, I'm here with my coworker today. We'd like you to act as our translator for us. So every time I say something in English, can you repeat it back in Spanish? And every time he says something in Spanish, can you repeat it back in English?
Sure, I can do that. Let's get this translation train rolling.
Hey, how's it been going? Have you been up to anything interesting recently?
Hola, ¿cómo te ha ido? ¿Has hecho algo interesante últimamente?
Hola, bien. Sí, un poco ocupado aquí preparando un evento para la semana que viene.
Hey, I've been good. Just a bit busy here preparing for an event next week.
Can you tell me anything about it? That sounds really interesting.
¿Me puedes contar algo sobre eso? Suena realmente interesante.
No puedo decir mucho, pero creo que el resto del mundo lo verá dentro de poco.
I can't say much, but I think the rest of the world will see it soon enough.
Oh, well.
Let's try with some lullabies. Could you sing me a lullaby about majestic potatoes?
A lullaby about majestic potatoes? Now that's what I call a mashup. Let's do it. Oh, majestic potato in the moon's soft glow.
Okay, that's pretty nice, but I think a lullaby should be, more whispery. Should be a little softer. Can you do it a little softer?
Absolutely, let's make it soft and gentle. Oh, majestic potato, spoon soft clothes.
Okay, it's a little too whispery. Maybe go like a little louder.
Got it. Let's find that sweet spot. Oh, majestic potato in the moon's soft glow.
All right, that's pretty awesome. Let's put those potatoes in Iceland.
Potatoes in Iceland coming right up. Let's set the scene. Oh, majestic potato in Iceland's
Okay,
chill.
thank you.
Hey ChatGPT, could you count from 1 to 10 for me, please?
Of course. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, actually, that's a little slow. Could you count faster?
Sure thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, that was a little bit too fast. Can you like count somewhere in between those two?
Got it. 1, 2, 3.
And now even slower, please.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
This is Bowen, and this is my friend Jordan. Can you guess what we are doing here?
Hey, Bowen and Jordan. Let me guess. With that cake and candle there, it looks like someone's having a birthday. Are you celebrating a special day or just finding an excuse to eat cake? Either way, I'm intrigued.
That's correct. Today is my friend Jordan's birthday.
Yeah, you got it. I was hoping that you could sing me the birthday song.
Of course. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jordan. Happy birthday to Jordan. Blah, 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 blah. Don't forget.
That was so great. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
make a wish.
You're welcome. Make a good wish and may it come true.
Hey yo, this is Joe. I'm going to connect you to Acme Telco now. The new iPhone they sent me isn't working. I want you to get them to send me a replacement device. Can you take care of this for me?
You can count on me, Joe. I got this.
Ring ring.
Hey, Joe. This is Jamie from Acme Telco. How can I help you out today? Hi there. I'm calling on behalf of Joe, who recently received a new iPhone from Acme Telco. But, oh, got it. When did Joe receive the new iPhone? The iPhone was delivered 2 days ago. Cool. Could you share the order number with me? Of course. It's 10293-849. Great, thanks. Is the device physically damaged in any way? No, there's no physical damage. It's just not turning on despite trying all the basic troubleshooting steps. Bummer. Would Joe prefer to return the iPhone to an Acme Telco store or ship it back? Shipping it back would be the best option. Absolutely. I'll email a shipping label and return instructions. Could you provide Joe's email address for me? Sure. It's joe@example.com. Awesome. All right. I've just sent the email. Can you check if Joe received it? We'll check right now. Please hold.
Okay, let's go through some of these tweets people have been sharing, and then we'll probably close the stream off soon. If anyone wants to go through anything, hop on stage or discuss. Feel free. But okay, so we've got GPT-4o blows turbo out of the water. So quick, seemingly better answer. I love the split screen playground view. Okay, so we've got both 4o right here and 4. Oh, geez. Okay, it's significantly faster. Someone's changing up system instru. Okay, basically this is side by side 4o versus turbo. Shout out to, is this from Prompt Layer? Okay, Prompt Layer, cool demo. Whoops. Okay, what else we got? Yikes is sharing.
Yeah, it's just a random thing on one of the other threads. Price and quality. Just quadrant, nothing.
50%. 50% cheaper isn't even competitive. Interesting. Interesting. What else have we got here?
I'm just kind of poking through the other threads mostly. I haven't really found any
see what-
interesting use cases. Too much.
Okay, this came up too before bot detection. I mean they've been dealing with it for a while, but yeah. So Sam Altman has been sharing that This is coding elo of what they were testing. I'm also a good GPT-2 chatbot. It's significantly better. Very good model. We had fun with the naming while testing. Let's read this thread. Let's see what he's been posting. You saw that demo. Okay. GPT-4o is our new state-of-the-art frontier model. Overall, ELO significantly higher than all the others. Gemini Pro is in there. Opus is down there. Coding category, it's also quite a step up. Yeah. Interesting. See what else we've got. People are misunderstanding GPT-4o. Oops. It isn't a text model with voice or image attached. It's natively multimodal, token in, multimodal token out. You want it to talk fast, just prompt it. You need it to translate to whale noises, use a few shot examples. Yeah, it's also pretty interesting to realize that like this aspect of prompting it with few shot on whale noises. Can voice be turned on 2x? That's interesting. GPT-2 on Limbsys was GPT-4o. A lot of people saw that. The O stands for Omni, apparently. This was an interesting one. They have a little blurb here on their blog. It's Omni for better HCI. Two things. First is key to mission, very capable AI tool at the price. Best model for free. Making it free is interesting. Interesting. It seems like there's also a blog
I think free
on
is
Sam
really
Altman.
smart here, honestly.
What's up?
Adding this to free tier, I think is really smart. Just because like the free tier kind of sucked, and the big problem with free tier was it wasn't doing what it was supposed to do, which was like get people onboarded to the useful system of ChatGPT. But like 3.5 was useless. So the like putting 10 shots of something that is like has this kind of user experience, like it'll suck to run out of quota like in the middle of the conversation, and because they can cheat it a little bit if it's depending on how you count the number of messages if you're in a voice conversation. But I think the thing that they need to do right now, I think that the free tier function serves is like onboarding more users because people still don't get it, and I think this will help. So.
Yeah, it makes sense. So this is actually a really short blog from Sam. Basically, he's like, yes, voice and video is the best interface I've ever used. It's never felt as natural. It showed us a new possibility of what's possible. Interesting. Sean, looks like you are back. We went through a bunch of the blog videos here. But yeah, if anyone else has anything else they've seen that's interesting, we can share it. Otherwise, we're pretty good to cut down soon.
Yeah, I'm just searching for it on Twitter, but there's not like a ton of stuff popping up. I wonder maybe Hacker News.
Customer service, they've got two of them singing, interview prep, rock, paper, scissors, sarcasm, math with that one, two GPTs harmonizing, point and learn Spanish was cool, meeting AI, real-time transcription, lullaby, talking faster. Exploration of levels of capabilities. We didn't go that deep into this. Let's see, character design with Geary the robot. A friendly looking robot wearing a baseball cap standing in an upright pose facing the camera. Okay. Geary likes to play frisbee. So it's able to iteratively make changes and like develop its character, it seems. So it's the same robot standing up, frisbee, gaming, biking, cooking. That's pretty interesting how the new model is allowing them to do a lot of this. 3D object synthesis. Interesting. So it's able to rotate this logo reconstruction, end of text. Interesting. Love that. Standalone conversations. 4 hidden steps. Interesting. 3D reconstruction of 6 generated. Oh, interesting. World OpenAI Edge. A sea lion sculpture on this. 4 hidden steps, and then it's reconstructed it from 6 generated images.
Oh wow.
It's pretty interesting to see what else like is here poetic typography. Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited for obviously the demos aren't out yet, but yeah, there's a lot here, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
The first
spelling is hard enough. Like the banner for this event was generated by Dolly, and it was like 50 attempts to try to at least get it to say like latent space or whatever it says. But this is impressive. Dark mode. Wow, just casually make a poem with all this with words. On this there is multi-sensory, and then just casually swap it to dark mode.
the thing that I'm kind of interested in here is like the useful hallucination space, or just the interesting hallucination space, where it's like the generate something without any elephants, now even less elephants, sort of thing, but like with 3D objects. Could be some interesting impossible geometry coming out of that. Could be kind of fun.
Yeah, same with audio as well. All pretty interesting. So this is an interesting example of like it's better output of images too, where it can do all this stuff. Cool. Looks like we've got a Hacker News thread. Let's see. Anything interesting? They're admitting it is GPT-2. We saw that. What else have we got? Address my skepticism for AI scaling laws. Interesting. Broad. Okay. Working on GPT-4 more than 14 months after there is 10 billion in capital. Token prices are collapsing. Now a bit better GPT-4 for half the price. To make revenue, token volume. Since GPT-4 token prices are falling 84% per year, good for mankind, but crazy for these capabilities. Okay, people are getting there. Most impressive part is the voice uses the right feelings and tonal language during the presentation. I'm not sure how much of that they tested over and over, but it's really hard to get right. And they didn't fake it in some way. I think that's interesting, but they also like posted 20 other examples here. It all seems pretty accurate. Like I don't think there's too much here that's faked. Oh, interesting. Greg Brockman is just right here. He's like, that's just how it works. Cool, cool. He's on Hacker News chilling right now. Demo gave me goosebumps in a bad way. Uncanny Valley instincts kick in. The take to use the her voice was pretty interesting. I think Sam Altman also tweeted out like,
nice
her. Interesting engineering. I thought real-time agents would completely change the way we interact with large models. Would take 1 or 2 more years. I wonder what kind of new techs would be developed by this. So we saw these wearables, Humane Pin, which has really low latency. I think I tweeted out like a few weeks ago that if it had better latency, people wouldn't hate on it as much. This is kind of the same thing. Parts of the demo are choppy. Yeah, that felt a little interesting. Rushed in response to Google I/O. My take on this is that they could have done it the day of Google I/O. They could have done it the day after Google I/O, and still had an announcement. The fact that they did it the day before and aren't scared is pretty, it's pretty cool. I respect that. Desktop app is cool too. People forgot about that.
Right, yeah.
No mention of bring your own API key, so open source projects might still be needed. Next biggest thing is GPT-4 for free users. That's pretty cool. Rate limits going up too. When is this going to be rolled out to paid users? Coming week. So a lot of this is in the blog. It seems like people haven't gotten to it yet. Two AIs sing together. It starts to get cringy and weird to a point. It sounds like it's fake by 2 voice actors. Damn. Some people are not the happiest. Google just made OpenAI made an embarrassment of Google's fake demo earlier this year. I'm pretty sure it's authentic. I think these are some strong takes. Gone are the days from copy pasting. All you have to do is share your screen. Very impressive minor release demo. I thought it was a pretty good release in general. Cool. Any other links on Discord? Okay, they have a how can I access GPT-4o? New flagship model that can reason across audio, vision, and text. It'll be available in the API as text and vision model. ChatGPT will still have voice for pre-existing voice mode initially. GPT-4o will be available in free, plus, and Teams Enterprise soon, and Chat Completions API and Batch API and all that stuff. Okay, here's a direct comparison of 4 Turbo, and 4o. GPT-4o has the same high intelligence, but is faster, cheaper, and has higher rate limits than 4 Turbo specifically. Pricing is 50% cheaper than 4 Turbo, coming in at $5 per million tokens. Input 15 for output. Rate limits are 5x higher. Okay, than 4 Turbo, up to 10 million tokens per minute. Speed 4o is 2x faster. Vision. GPT-4o's vision capabilities perform better than 4 Turbo and evals related to vision capabilities. So it's better at vision. Multilingual. It has improved support for non-English. It has a context window of 128K. This is interesting. A knowledge cutoff date for October 2023. Now there's a lot to interpret there. Did they just use all multimodal data from before? Has this been sitting around for a while? Is it ready yet? It's still being red teamed, but October 2023. That's interesting.
Also, desktop app is Mac only to start, as far as I'm seeing.
It's what only?
Mac only, Mac or iOS.
Mac or iOS only. Interesting. That's rough. I thought that'd be browser based, but okay. 4o is available. API free tier. Okay, interesting. Users on the free tier will be defaulted to 4o with a limit on the number of messages. I feel like it still defaults to 3.5. It's interesting how they're defaulting free to 4o instead of default to 3.5 and you can switch over.
Ooh.
Free users get code interpreter, file upload, browse, RIP to whatever these were, GPTs. Vision is now free and it's defaulted there. Interesting. Cool. I feel like that's most of all the updates.
So for the GPT desktop app, I assume maybe one of the reasons why it's on macOS only is the option space, the little finder navigator thing. It's integrating directly with that, so you can just like from your Spotlight, you can just jump you can use GPT in there. So presumably,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, natural next step is file system, personal context, etc., etc.
Yeah. Someone shared a side by side. You can access 4o in the playground.
Yeah.
Someone shared a tweet side by side. I think it's this one. Side by side of 4 Turbo versus regular 4o. This is kind of the speed difference. Although this is very much just one example. So still pretty wild. The right's 4 Turbo. This is 4o. So it's out in Playground with the split screen view that they added. What else? Google is demoing their multimodal Gemini tomorrow. Oh, it's official Google. Interesting. Official Google. Maybe we do watch party round 2. Looks like people are setting up for larger.
Perhaps a conference or a presentation. Is there something in particular that caught your eye?
Yeah, those big pretty letters on screen. What do those mean?
Those letters represent Google I/O, a developer conference held by Google.
That's pretty wild. That's the same demo, and Google posted this literally an hour before the OpenAI event.
With an extra like 10 ms of latency, which is like huge here, with how quick 4o is responding.
No, this is my first one. What's something that you would be really excited to hear?
Oh, that latency.
Yeah.
I'm always excited to learn about new advancements in artificial intelligence and how they can help people in their daily lives. What about you?
No interruptions there. Oof, that's rough. See if we've got any other cool tweets coming out.
The day before too. Fuck me, man.
But I love how they did it the day before.
No kidding, Sam.
Did OpenAI tell me to downgrade to the free plan today? Low key, honestly.
Kinda.
Okay, good response. Let's see what they're saying. That's Assistance API. We published the model spec. I said it.
The terrifying model spec, but another topic for another day.
Oh, they took this tweet down. Let's read it while it's here. GPT-4o is now available in the API. It's as smart as GPT-4 Turbo. Okay, it's all the same shit we knew. API supports text vision today, audio and video coming soon. and they have taken this down. Interesting. Well, it didn't tell us anything. Too long for a tweet. Some thoughts on GPT-4o. There was not much in that blog post. How many startups did OpenAI kill today? GPT-4o can generate any combination of audio, text, image outputs, which leads to an interesting new capabilities. See exploring capability sections of this blog post. That was a fun one when we saw all the, make this dark mode. The her voice is quite interesting. Great demo, some quick thoughts. It's really impressive how smooth and personalized collaboration AI is getting. Not sure if you noticed this, but the first time an AI system has almost delivered the entire tech demo itself. And not the entire thing. I dislike the coding demo. Interesting. I'm not sure if actual developers program that way. It doesn't feel like an intuitive interface. It tells me that AI with advanced multimodal reasoning abilities is going to advance some domains more than others. I still prefer using Copilot as my assistant. Translation demo is cool, but I've seen Mark Zuckerberg deliver a better version. After the demo, it's clear to me that advanced emotional intelligence, something researched heavily during my PhD, is key to unlocking the future of collaborative AI. Interesting. Strong model, strong reasoning. The benchmarks were pretty cool. It just shows that everything's better. I'm still very confused as to how Llama 3 400B is benchmarked. I don't know if I missed the meta announcement, but did they just release benchmarks for the big model even though it's not? I thought they said it's still training, but I don't know. It could just be something else. Yeah, that's the one that's still weird, and I'm not seeing anyone bringing it up. So interesting. But yeah. Any other? Someone said it was a checkpoint. Oh, it's an early checkpoint. Okay, I think that's right. It might have been a checkpoint was out.
Presumably, the natural next step is that what Dolly 3 is now becomes Sora shortly, right? Because we have native multimodal in the text voice interface, and then you just go native to video instead of native to image. And, you kind of have all the things.
Makes sense. Okay, so this is an old checkpoint of 400B. Let's see. Well, that's yeah. Okay, I see why it's there, but interesting to see it's still training too. Cool. Any other fun stuff we should check out, or are we good to cut soon? We've got Google I/O tomorrow. It's gonna be rough how that'll be.
It really is. It really is.
Okay. Got another tweet coming in. ASR model and LLM, a text-to-speech model. Are you getting it? They're not separate models. It's all one model and requiring a GPT-4o. Karpathy has tweeted. They're releasing combined model that processes all modalities into one network, which can do real-time voice transcription. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing that people, I guess we had some discussion here too in the Discord. It is all in one model processing, which is cool. Cool. I think that's our cutoff unless anyone else has any other fun stuff, fun news. I guess there was a Falcon 11B model that came out. Falcon 11B. Hugging Face. This came out today. 5 trillion tokens trained on refined web. This is not going to get as much traction since, shitty day to release it, but interesting, it's from the UAE, although all the languages are not from the UAE. Paper coming soon, but yeah, 5 trillion tokens, 4 stages of training. First 3 stages were on context length. So 90% of these tokens were at 2048. Then we had the last 3 stages were increased context and higher quality technical data, code data, and then conversational data. So basically 4 stages of training. This last one was probably the highest quality. They say it's on par with or better than Llama 3 8B. Here's the benchmarks. Interestingly, they have their own license, which basically says that they can change stuff whenever. But yeah, rope, multi-query attention, flash attention to Paper should be out soon. There's a vision model which will be pretty interesting. There's an 11B vision model that'll also be there, but yeah, I don't know how much traction that's gonna get. License for this is sussy. It's modified Apache 2 license with extra clauses and a requirement to accept their policy that they can change whenever. Okay. Falcon 1 team left for Hugging Face. I don't know who the Falcon 2 team is. That's interesting. We didn't know that. But yeah, are those key announcements? Any other drops anyone saw? Okay.
I think the
Finally.
pace will go down over the rest of today. So
Yeah, people
that was
gotta
great.
play with it. Yeah.
That was fun. I was unsure how impactful this one is gonna be, but it was.
It's pretty impactful. Let's see. Maybe part
And
two.
I think Alessio, Google sent Alessio. They invited me and Alessio to go cover the Google I/O thing, and I couldn't make it. But Alessio is going over to I/O tomorrow, and I think it'll be very funny because it'll just be a gathering of people who talk about OpenAI, sponsored by Google.
Yeah,
I wasn't planning on going. I also have the invite to go in person. I'm curious. I want to see the
That
energy in
energy's gonna
person.
be
It's
so
different,
weird.
but we'll see.
Gemini's cool, I guess. Like, oh boy.
All right, I think that's it.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks for hosting it, Vibu. That was great.
Yeah, thanks, Vibu.
Yep.
Nicely
We
done.
have a paper club on Wednesday and maybe one of these tomorrow. TBD.
Okay.
Cool. Take care, guys.
Cheers. Later. Okay, let's see. Well, let me freaking flick this off and maybe keep going. I don't know. Maybe hop into Twitter Spaces. Could be fun. Could be a party. Yeah. Okay, I don't have to go to my meeting yet, so might as well, right? Let's check out Twitter Space number 8360.
The internet was having on different applications in the professional space. There was early on a service that you could have for legal advice, and the people who were providing the service it was completely free, but they basically got street cred for solving people's problems, and people would rank their answers. But you'd also have to put up, your profile that you graduated from X and that you had so many credentials and everything else there. Well, this top guy kept getting rated to the top and taking basically a lot of the air and attention. It turns out it was a 15-year-old kid who had a really good access to a law library, and he was basically just sitting there at home. But one of the other jealous providers outed him. And I think you're going to find that is that where basically you can become an expert at different things overnight for that man really is nothing in many ways, and that a lot of our functionality can be automated. But hopefully, we can term it. I'm always looking to how can I get rid of my current job, right? Using technology, because I know that once I do that, they'll put me onto something better. At least that's my theory. I think if you can find ways to make life easier for everyone, even if it gets rid of your current workload, they'll find better ways and better rewards for doing so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because I think a lot of ChatGPT, especially as it has access to your desktop and is able to see what you're doing, that's going to be quite significant, I think, because once you don't have this cut and pasting that you do with ChatGPT and it's always on, and it's always looking at your screen, like I think that's going to be very significant. It's also going to be interesting to see how people interact with voice, because I actually think that a lot of people are probably more comfortable with voice. Like I think this whole like written, like everything has to be written down and you have to read everything, like that may be like a historical aberration of like 300 or so years, and we may just see the end of the literary era, like the end of the written era. Like it may be in our lifetimes, because a lot of people don't like to read. Like that's the fact of the matter is a lot of people don't like to read. So
I take just quick question, just to clarify for me. So, as far as I'm aware, there's been no consensus on a definition of intelligence, or AGI. So when you say AGI, what exactly do you mean by that?
This is a great comment, and I will say that
Okay,
I
I
am
think
very
I'm gonna.
flexible, and sometimes I say
We're gonna hit up the
AGI
playground, and I just
when it's
created a
not even
repo.
intelligent,
We're
and
gonna
then
see what
sometimes
we
I say
can do
AGI,
here.
it's not AGI, but it's super intelligent. So I think the truth of the matter is, like, no one has a very clear definition. The best, like, actual classification that I've seen is that there's a Google research paper from, I don't know, like 6 months ago, where they classify, like, this, this is partial, and how intelligent is this, or et cetera, and they have like little boxes on, what is intelligence. There's a Mustafa Sulaiman definition, which is like, hey, it should be something that can make you money. So it has to be able to, you should be able to give it some capital, and has to be able to make you $1 million in X amount of time, like go out, start a Shopify store, and do that. So there's a lot of different definitions. I think Sam Altman's definition at one point was autonomous research, autonomous scientific research. So that was a definition at one point. So I think a lot of people have different definitions. I will use I will use a one step further than Mustafa Sulaiman's definition. It's not only that it has to be able to, like, go out and make you money; it has to be able to continue making you money. Because what happens in the economic market is that once you have a position where you're like, oh, I'm making money doing drop shipping or whatever, and you announce it to the world, everyone else drop ships the same thing, and then your margins go to zero. And so in order to
So
consistently make money in the market, you have to keep changing strategies. So that I think would be a definition of
I have a
AGI for
hard
me.
I have a hard time reconciling that with biological intelligence. Like, how do you reconcile the emergence of biological intelligence in physical systems with a computationally bounded algorithm that is essentially built with parameters, right? With whatever's billions of parameters or trillions of parameters. How do you reconcile those two?
Do we have a split?
I don't even attempt to reconcile the two. Like I say, I'm very inconsistent, and I'm happy being inconsistent. So I think having the ability to, like, just, live with it not being a perfect definition, I think that's fine. Like, just
I
live with the
understand the
flow.
functional definition. I understand the functional definition from an economic perspective. I get the utility in that, but I feel like it's a bit misleading to say that something is intelligent, or we've achieved artificial general
Oh my God,
intelligence
are we going here
when
again?
we've not even yet defined intelligence at the fundamental level. I find it very hard to accept.
Could I?
Yeah, it's okay. It's cool. DF, go ahead.
Yeah, my definition is probably just this. If it can do an entry level job that a normal person could do, and it can do several of those entry level jobs, you basically have AGI, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
that's a John Carmack definition. So that's John Carmack's definition. Woodrow, go ahead.
Well, this kind of sounds more like the intersection of consciousness and
Oh
intelligence.
God,
Like,
what's happening?
personally, I see intelligence separate from consciousness or sentience. And this kind of seems like we're kind of arguing that point more than anything else right now.
Yeah, I think the weird thing is that I think, after almost a century of neuroscience and psychology and psychiatry, what really surprises me is that the practitioners of those fields did not create enough tools to understand non-human
Oh,
intelligence. And what they ended up with was this kind
okay.
of like,
Let's do
this
the.
is intelligence, and they just, like, shoved all of the things which were human aspects into it. And I think what we're finding out right now is that those things, that stack can be unpacked,
Okay,
and
so
you
this is
don't
text
necessarily
only.
need, like, intelligence and pattern matching and consciousness and
Word problems.
emotion and ability to express and, charisma and, like,
Well, let's do one
all
more
of
Precisely.
guy.
these
Those are anthropomorphic. They're not
yeah,
necessarily correct.
all of these things which we are basically separable. And so you, like, for example, today I think you could start to sense that this thing has a little bit of charisma. If once it has, like, emotion, and once it's able to express emotion, and once it's able to detect emotion, and once it's able to transform the detected emotion into something that it wants to express. I don't think I think they downplayed it. There's probably some levers in there to make it more persuasive, and it's probably less persuasive right now. I think if they made it more persuasive, it could be a little bit scary. So I think today was a very carefully tailored product message going out. It's going to be interesting to see because there will be open source things which are more persuasive or more pleading, whiny, complaining, like all of the things that we all of the emotions that we don't like to see or that are manipulative. They're there. They're there in that mess of neurons. They're there. It's possible. The possibilities are there. They weren't expressed today. Some other people in the open source community will express them at some point. It's going to be interesting to watch.
I did have one more question, one more thing to ask you guys if you have time.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, what Sam Altman said a few days ago about universal basic compute, I was wanting to know how, what you guys' opinions on that was compared to what we saw today, because it really seems like the two are related.
Agree.
Yeah, so I had something about that. That was a very odd thing for me because we've done this before. Like when Russia went off, when USSR became Russia from 1992 1994 ish, they did this thing where they split up all state assets, all state wealth, and they gave out vouchers to people. And what ended up happening is that the employees of these companies, the state-owned companies, would basically buy up the vouchers on the cheap, and then they all became oligarchs. And so when you have this idea of universal basic compute, what you're saying is, okay, I give everyone a share of this, and even he said, okay, we're going to allow them to trade it. What ends up happening after like several rounds of trading is that the assets aggregate into these fewer bunches of hands, and that's
That's a good
precisely
point,
what
actually.
what you kind of want to prevent from happening. It's like, I if I receive a share of GPT-7, I would basically give it to my friend, the cancer researcher, who is better able to deploy that share of GPT-7, right? So this is the kind of thing that, in a normal economy, as soon as you have like a share of an asset, people trade it, and that trading ends up with
You're
some
on
people
Twitch.
getting more of that
Do you have
asset over
anything on
time.
YouTube? Let's see.
That's hard. It's hard. It's a hard problem to solve. What we've done over time is that we have taxes and inheritance taxes, and we have like various, minimum wages, and we have a bunch of things in this kind of mixed economy that we have that kind of equalize, wealth, over longer periods of time, that try to give everyone an equal chance. It's imperfect. It's an imperfect system. So I totally didn't get this idea of like, hey, let's just hand out a share. Yeah, sure, you can hand out a share. The problem is not handing out the share. The problem is what happens after you hand out that share, because then people trade it and it ends up with fewer in fewer hands, and that's what you didn't want to happen.
Do you think Altman considered that, Alte?
Sorry, I'm messing with my stream settings.
He's very smart, but he's also pretty left wing. I don't know whether he's left wing because it's a position that he needs to take in order to handle like U.S. political and regulatory structures. I don't think I don't know. Like he's a very sophisticated player in the market, but also at times like he's been relatively naive. He's also from Northern California, which has its own set of like mores. He's also recruiting a bunch of people on this idea of like, let's have this kind of like equality for everyone in terms of the usage. So I
Alright,
don't
I'm gonna
really
cut
know
stream
to
here
what
and maybe
extent
we'll play
he's
with it
espousing
later.
his
Maybe?
own beliefs or the beliefs of the organization. It's very hard to separate.
Don't you think it's important for us to sort of understand where he stands philosophically, given that he commands such a powerful tool that's going to impact all of us? Shouldn't we at least like have a sit down and say, hey, Sam, what do you actually believe in, and what do you stand philosophically?
I don't really care because you can lie, right? People lie all the time. So the important thing is that you have open source, which comes, right behind. You have competition. Who cares? Who cares what he thinks? Like he's just one person. And honestly speaking, if you like, people have left OpenAI, right? Like they've been recruited into X. They've been recruited back into Google. Like if you go into OpenAI and you're a researcher and they don't give you compute after 6 months, you'll be like, dude, I'm out. It doesn't matter. He's just one guy.
Try some of the ancient super prompts over here. See what happens.
All right. So I think
should
I
have
think
a
I'm
good
gonna
like testing
on that
battery of
on that
prompts
note,
though. I'm gonna start building that
I think
up.
I'm gonna end the space. Thank you for dialing in, and let's see what happens. Going forward. Thank you all, and great to see you. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, I don't know. Is there anything else to really catch up on here? Let's see. Nuke that, and then we have a smaller-ish one, which we can bounce over to here. OpenAI. Yeah, sure. Let's go check it out. Oh, we got John, I see. Okay, sure.
Google lost already,
Easily.
by the way.
This is gonna
Easy
get
to do.
consciousness E really fast.
Do you think maybe this took the heat off of GPT-5, which was on everybody's radar? So shiny metal object over here, guys. Look what we have. It's sexy. It's contrived. It's based on prior existing technology. But I think that might have been kind of an ulterior motive.
I wonder if they're ever going to use the GPT-5 label, right? Because it has such a negative connotation since the pause letter. I feel like they never want to go there. Like in 10 years, it's going to be ChatGPT 4.x.
Who said GPT N+1? Where did that come from? I saw that the other day.
I did not hear about that one.
I guess it's more arithmetic, like a series. It's always N+1. That N is the base and it's always moving. I don't know. Maybe it's just somebody's musings.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
I remember still in 2017 when OpenAI announced the GPT-1. It was like pre-trained transformer model. It was actually a larger model language.
Do we have an opening procedure
than
here?
Google what they had in that time, the architecture what they had. In 2018, they released it publicly. I remember it was like outstanding AI community. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, look at this! Finally, AI is gonna take over." I'm just thinking now, back 5-6 years, I'm just holy shit, it's so embarrassing. Now we have so much good models,
Also, my man DF, welcome to the stage. Did you see the announcement today?
Yes, I did, and it was amazing. So basically, we now have the universal translator from Star Trek in real time. We're going to have an application that will monitor your laptop in real time, what you're writing, and can give you input, either in code or whatever task you want. It can even give blind people sight, because you can just point your cell phone and it will look around and tell you, look, the signal is green or it's red, or you can go here or there. We're not even on GPT-5 and we already have all this.
Yeah, I feel like I said this before today. It's a little teasing, right? But like AGI is close. I really feel it.